Hey everybody, Colin here. Man, do I have a story for you. So Saturday, I get the Eldar book, right? The leaks are out there. Lots of people have seen them. And I love Eldar. I've played it so much. I've won so many tournaments with Eldar in 8th edition. And I'm just really excited. I'm just really excited. And so I get the book and I quickly, over 24 hours, I put lists together. And my friend Hank comes over and we play 2 games where I'm learning Eldar for the first time and I'm playing 2 really different lists. And I'm thinking, yes, I'm going to make battle reports off this. Everybody loved the battle report I did with Chuck. I'm going to build a battle report off of this. It's going to be so cool. Everyone's going to be like, yes, it's Colin learning Eldar from the Eldar book. And he's going to tell us about it. It's going to be really good content. I messed it up. I broke it. I changed some settings, and the video is all wonky. I took more than one camera angle, which people requested. That didn't work, and the actual footage skips a bunch of frames. So I still want to tell you about the games because I think there's a bunch to learn there, and I think it's still interesting. But we aren't going to have really great video. When I watch the video live, you're going to see that it skips around a lot. And sometimes I'll just skip around manually through it to kind of tell you guys the story. I think we could still have fun. I think you could still learn something. I think you could still enjoy the story. I'm sorry that the video is not better. We have 2 of these where the video is not great that I'm going to do. But I'm starting to make more content today, which is Wednesday, March 2nd. Depending, I don't know when this is coming out. So right now, I'm making more today with better cameras. So it's a work in progress. I'm sorry. But let's talk about the first Eldar game I played. So I was really excited about Ulthway and Bealtan and all this different stuff, but I realized that there's a Shuriken build that could just be math. And I like to know when an army comes out if there's a list that's just math. And what I mean by that is there a list where you can just overdo it on something and leaf blow people off the table? If that exists, I want to know about it. Like Europe's talking a lot about 9 of the Harlequin tanks, the shooty tank boats, as an example of something where people are saying the math is just too good. So I built a Shuriken list, and it uses 2 custom traits. One of them makes it so that when you get out of a transport, you get +1 to wound for that turn. Pretty cool on Dire Avengers. And then the other thing makes it so that anytime anybody's shooting Shuriken, they auto-wound on 6s to hit. Now, the math on auto-wounding is actually quite great. Auto-wounding is a very powerful skill, especially when you're shooting into things of higher toughness, which Shuriken regularly have to do. So I built that list, and I put Asurmen in it. However, now that I've thought about it more, he doesn't actually belong. But Asurmen's in it. Fluff-wise, he belongs, but we'll talk more about that. I took an Autarch, just a foot boy. Just gets the people some rerolls. I gave him the wings relic so he could fly around. When he flies over people, he gets to bomb them. That's kind of fun. I took a Farseer on foot. I gave him Doom, and I gave him Impair Senses because I didn't think there was anything in the list that was going to want Guide or Fortune. That was just wrong. But so be it. Impair Senses lets you turn off an aura on a unit, and I thought that that'd be really good in the current game. But Fortune or Guide would have been better. And then he took Shifting Seers for his Warlord trait, which lets him reroll his casts. Then I took 2 units of 5 Rangers. I took 3 big units of Dire Avengers. I put them in 3 Wave Serpents. Dire Avengers shoot like crazy. The math-wise on them is that they're way more efficient than Guardians. They're also a little bit easier to play with. I just like Dire Avengers better than Guardians. Obviously, they're elites and not troops. Then I took a Wraithlord with Shuriken Cannons. I took, by the way, all of the Wave Serpents have Shuriken Cannon and Shuriken Catapult. They're the base model at 140. Then I took 2 units of 2 WarWalkers of Shuriken Cannons. They're not the most efficient way to get a Shuriken Cannon. That's the bikes, but they are more durable than the bikes. I like the bikes better now, but WarWalkers, I'd try them. Then I took 3 D-Cannon support platforms, 2 Shadowweaver support platforms, and a unit of 5 Swooping Hawks. So that was the list. I played into a fairly standard Custodes Emperor's Chosen list. I always want to say Emperor's Children because it's the same acronym, but that's a different thing. Unless it's not a different thing. Maybe I should do a conspiracy theory podcast. Anyways, he had 3x3 bikes. Then he takes a bunch of the shotgun bros, just a ton of them, Trajan, Banner Boy, and Shield Captain. That's basically his list. He doesn't take the objective holders like Sisters of Battle, excuse me, Sisters of Silence, or the Men-at-Arms, or any of that stuff, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now, and we're going to talk through the game. So come join me. Here we go. All right, look at the game here. This is actually at the end of Hank's first turn. I skipped some movement for you here. We'll talk about how the deployment worked in just a second. So I took, we're playing the mission where there's 6 objectives, and you get 2 bonus points if you end your turn controlling one of these, or 4 more points if you control one of these. So that's the mission that we're doing, and I took Engage, which was probably wrong. Everybody takes Stranglehold in every game, and I'm frustrated by that. So I was thinking, I'm playing Eldar. We're not very durable. I don't have a ton of OBSEC. Maybe I don't take Stranglehold, but I took Engage, and it was just wrong. I took R&D, which I think you're going to have to take in every game as Eldar, because I don't think our secondaries are good enough. And then I took Thin, not because it's a great choice, but because secondaries are hard to take now, and he does give up 10 Thin if I kill everything. I didn't think I'd kill everything, but I thought I'd kill like 2/3 of his army over 6 turns, and I thought I'd get like a 7. And I couldn't come up with a better way to do that. He took Bring It Down. One of the things Eldar is going to have to be careful about is it's very easy for us to make a list that just gives you 15 on Bring It Down, because we're not the most durable army in the world. He took Stranglehold because everybody takes Stranglehold, and he took Raise the Banners, which was definitely wrong. So we'll see why that is here in just a second. So over on his side of the table, this is 3 of the Shotgun Bros. This is 3 Shotgun Bros down here. Here's 3 more Shotgun Bros. Oh, he has 3 of the Bodyguard Bros too. I forgot about them earlier. These are the Bodyguard Bros, Shotgun Bros, Shotgun Bros, Shotgun Bros, Bikes, Bikes, Spikes, Bike Character. And then these are the bodyguards right here. Over on my side of the table, we've got 2. These are WarWalkers. Amusingly, I'll just tell you guys really quick. These are actually Scout Sentinels from my almost all metal Valhallan guard army that I painted 5 years ago. WarWalkers have not been good in a really long time, so as a joke at my house, anytime there's anything on this size base that needs to be proxied, it's a WarWalker. It's a Sentinel. We just put Sentinels on the table. In this case, a Sentinel is incredibly similar to a WarWalker, and we're proxying a little bit right now because we're just trying to see what's good before I hobby everything up. So here's 2 WarWalkers up here. These are 2 actual Warwalk models down here. 5 Rangers in here behind the wall, 5 Rangers in here behind the wall. And that is my deployment. The Rangers are behind the wall because I gave them the bombs that where if you charge them on a 2-up, you take D3 mortals and your charges reduce. My idea there is, if I go first, I want them because I want them where they are. And if he goes first and he wants to charge them through the wall, he's going to have to take some mortals. And then he's going to get up on the wall, and I'll be able to retaliate. That's the idea. He has a lot less stuff than me. I'm okay sacrificing 2 units of Rangers to get him more aggressively forward. Ideally, he'd end his turn with his Custodes right here, and I could shoot at him with everything. Back here is a Wave Serpent with Dire Avengers, Wave Serpent with Dire Avengers, Wave Serpent with Dire Avengers. These are my Turtle Serpents that I play with in my army that are kit bash. They're the right size as a Wave Serpent. I've played them in tournaments a ton. This is just a normal Wave Serpent hull that I'm using because I don't have a third one of those. Here's my Warwalker. These are my D cannons. My Shadowweavers are over in this building. You'll never see them until they die. And I think that is about it. So let's start the game here. And let's see where we have left it here. So on Hank's first turn, he moved everything back because for Fate Dice, I actually rolled 3 armor saves. And so I baited him here with my deployment, where in order for him to shoot the Sentinels, he has to have a really extreme angle to right about here, or a really extreme angle to right about here. And so what I wanted him to do is move his bikes forward so that all of this could shoot the bikes. The 24-inch range from the guns here reaches all the way over to like right about this. And so that allows me to shoot any bikes that want to get close enough to shoot the Sentinels. It's all a trap. Hank immediately sees the trap and doesn't take it. He pulls back because he's got all the speed in the world, and he doesn't want to come at me at a turn where I have 3 free saves. So he just moved up enough to grab this objective and grab this objective. These are both OBSEC. He's basically saying, Colin, you have to deal with these 6 guys or I'm off to a great start. So what I'm doing here is I'm moving these sentinels so they can shoot up here. I'm moving these sentinels so they can shoot down here, and I'm trying to do it at maximum range. I'm moving this Wave Serpent full of dudes here and this one here. I've measured this so that the bikes can't reach these. So he has to let me shoot his bikes before his bikes charge me. The bike shooting me is bad for sure, but the bikes charging me is way worse over the entire army. So I'm trying to play that cautiously. So this is where I just get silly. I jumped Dire Avengers out here and held them here, thinking he'll move forward. These guys will come out and shoot. Forgetting that I have the +1 disembark, +1 wound thing. I move an empty Wave Serpent up here to block him from charging deep into me. This saved the WarWalkers, not the other Wave Serpents. It was wrong. The Wave Serpents are more important than the WarWalkers in this game, especially with the Dire Avengers in them. This Wave Serpent should be here, even if it's at the expense of its shooting. These WarWalkers should be here, blocking the path. These WarWalkers should be here blocking the path, and I should have sacrificed all of them to bikes on the first turn so the rest of my army could then shoot the bikes in the open. That would have been great. Let's skip forward just a bit and see what happens here. So now what's happening is I'm shooting all of this Shuriken. These guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, and the indirect fire into these 6 brosifs. It goes really well for me. As we skip forward, you'll see. Like I said, the video is really bad. So you can see I've wiped out 3 so far. I'm very careful with the shooting phase to basically make sure that I'm doing the people that only have 1 target first. People like this Wave Serpent can only reach this guy with short guns, but this guy's long guns could reach both sides. So I'm being very efficient in how that works. And we'll just skip on forward here. All right. So we end the turn. I get 3 primary. I don't know how. Oh, I'm mistaken. This is the extra kill point primary. I got myself confused. This is not the one where you have to hold the objectives for bonus points. This is the one. I can't believe I got this wrong earlier. I apologize. I don't know why I didn't write the mission name down. This is Retrieve the Relics. This is the one where, or maybe it's not Retrieve the Relics. This is the one where you have to kill people, and every unit you kill is a point. This 3 is wrong. I killed 2, not 3. I don't know why I have 3 points, but so be it. I also didn't get any engage on the first turn. Nothing really significant there. And we move into Hank's turn. Now, on Hank's turn, I only have a few 6s to save. And so Hank moves up pretty aggressively. Now, this is silly of me. This is as far as his bikes could go. And I gave him an incredibly easy charge here for literally no reason. So that was silly of me. He's going to come up. Oh, here's why I tried to get some better footage for you guys here. You can see his bikes. On my turn, I did run the Rangers out, and they helped shoot off the guys, and I towed them into each objective because that put him on a 4 for his first turn, rather than he would have been at an 8, and all I did was sacrifice 2 units of Rangers. I think it would have been better to hold the Rangers back and shoot at 36. I think that was too aggressive, but I also pulled his banners down and put him from 3 banners to 1 banner. And so that's 2 banner points each turn. So the math all kind of equals out, and it makes that trade completely worthwhile. So you can see kind of here as everything's charging in at me, we'll have more of this cool side camera footage as we move on with life. All right. So he is shooting this Wave Serpent like crazy. All of his shooting's primarily going here. He wants that Wave Serpent dead so that he can try to charge past it into the WarWalkers or something. That's his goal here. This did not go well for me. He nailed a 9-inch charge here. That was just bad luck. 9-inch charge without rerolls is like a 30-something% chance. It's not a good chance. I'm disappointed that this happened. And then down here, just the shield captain went into the Wave Serpent because it was almost dead from shooting. These other bros came over here to kind of hide from my shooting. These bros came over here to hide from their shooting. Both of these shot the Wave Serpent. Here's 3 shotgun bros. These are his characters, bodyguard guys, and more shield bros. You can see that at the end of the turn, he got 1 secondary point. I don't know how that... Oh, for bring it down, because he killed a Wave Serpent. Or he killed a WarWalker or something. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know how he got 1 point. He got 4 points of primary at the beginning of that turn. It would have been 8. So he's at 5, and I'm at 7 going into his second turn, which is what we're seeing right now. All right, so you can see that the shield captain killed this Wave Serpent easily in combat. This is where Colin made the realization that, much like 8th edition, the Serpent Shield does not work in melee. Oops, that was a pretty big mistake and pretty silly of me. You can see that I did get 2 armor saves from the Fate dice. I did use both of them on this Wave Serpent to try to keep it alive. I still have a Psychic test and a wound roll, I believe is what this is down here, ready for me. So these guys came up here. They're going to kill 1 WarWalker and leave the other one. He's not going to kill anybody here because he just piled in. This is just to try to stop these WarWalkers from shooting. So let's see if we can't get to the start of my turn here. All right. So this is where I just start playing badly. That's what's happening now. Oh, that's right. That's right. He also shot and killed this Wave Serpent up here. These guys jumped out. And then he charged this Wave Serpent down here. So I lost 2 Wave Serpents on his second turn. And I lost a WarWalker as well. That puts him at a 7 primary because he killed 3 things on my turn. At the start of my turn, I go to an 11 of primary. He's got 10 secondary because he's been bringing it down quite well. He also strangleholded on his first 2 turns. He didn't. Yeah, he did stranglehold on this. No, maybe he didn't on the first turn. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. The points aren't going to end up mattering once you guys see how badly I play this second turn. So the correct move here, these guys do move far, but far is here. Far is here. Far is not into this. What I should do here is I should actually pull back, and I should kill him and these bikes and make these 6 bikes come to me and then counter them. What I do instead is try to kill all of the bikes in the game on the same turn, which was a terrible plan and does not end up working for me. So let's talk about how I do that. I'm going to try to just get to the end of my shooting phase here as I skip forward in the footage. You can see this Serpent's Dire Avengers have gotten out right here. They're going to be +1 to wound. My plan is to try to kill them with these Dire Avengers and these Dire Avengers and these WarWalkers who paid CP to fall back and shoot. I've got this guy here. The Wraithlord's right here ready to charge the shield captain. I do have the Glaive on him. And then I left this WarWalker in combat thinking that it would be hard for him to fall back and charge in 2 different places. It is, but this was wrong. My intention is to send Asurmen in here and have him pick up a bike or 2. That's silly. That's not good math. My plan is to shoot the D cannons at them, all the Dire Avengers at Shuriken here, kill some of these bikes, and have Asurmen come kill some of these bikes and leave him with 3 badly damaged units of bikes. If I simply focus Asurmen and the D cannons and some Dire Avengers on these 3, and then have everything else shoot him and pull back, and even if I let him get a primary advantage, on the next turn, if I can kill the rest of the bikes, the game's over. Like, you have to think about with Custodes how much stuff they actually have. It isn't that many things. If I could have taken out 2 or 3, but even 2 of his hammers this turn, I think I could have weathered it long enough to do better. My Farseers right here, he did put Doom on them. That was the worst. All that did was cost him a CP because when I go to shoot them, he just turns that off. And when I shoot these guys, he turns off Transhuman. So he takes the +1 to wound, rolling to wound, rerolling to wound Dire Avengers, and turns off their rerolls. And he turns off Transhuman on these D cannons. The D cannons roll 7 shots and like 5 ones to hit. I reroll one of them because I'm BL10. I do not reroll one of them because I'm not BL10. I use a hit or a wound or something and buff them up, and it still just doesn't do anything. I think it kills 1 bike because of Transhuman being so good. So let's jump to the end of my shooting phase. All right, so All of these Dire Avengers ended up having to shoot this way to try to wipe off this unit. If I had killed this bike, which has 1 wound left, by the way, I shot it with my indirect fire even. I shot everything into this bike because if it dies, he's not on this objective and he doesn't get, and then he's not on 3 objectives at the beginning of his turn. I see now that that wouldn't have actually helped me that much. I don't know why I was so worried about that. Asurmen hasn't gone in yet. This shooting did nothing. These Dire Avengers rolled no 6s. I even used the CP stratagem to get extra hits on 6s. They did nothing. These guys had to help this way. We did a little bit of shooting to the shield captain. Didn't get us anywhere. D cannons whiffed pretty hard. And that's really the end of my shooting phase. And you can see that things are already really bad for me. These are completely alive and can go wherever they want. This guy up here is a massive problem because there's still a bike left, and 1 bike is really scary. Let's go to the end of my close combat phase. Okay, so after all that shooting, I did get 1 dead. I had a brilliant plan here. One of these bikes had only a couple wounds left, so I charged with this Dire Avenger unit, thinking that they still get 6s to auto wound. And I thought, you know, I can do the last wound, and then I have 10 dudes, and he has 4. I have 10 dudes that are he's not OBSEC, I'm not OBSEC, but I had 10 dudes and he only had 4 dudes because he's Custodes. He would have to kill 7 of me to get this objective. So I kill this guy off this objective. I take back this objective. I give him a 4. Again, I'm playing way too aggressively. And what happens here is the Dire Avengers do nothing. These bikes roll really hot and kill all of these Dire Avengers, basically. Asurmen goes in here. I think he kills 1 bike. We'll find out. I'll just skip forward here. Sorry that I can't play the video of it moving. It's just much easier to skip through. Oh, so Asurmen went in here. He killed nothing. We're on to Hank's turn now. He's moved these bikes. He's told these bikes that they killed the Sentinel. They decided, excuse me, the Warwalker. They focused the Warwalker instead of Asurmen. They're using fallback and the fallback and charge and shoot strats for 2 CP. They're over here. They're on my home objective with my D cannons. This is terrible news. I've got Dire Avengers here. I've got Dire Avengers here. I've got 2 WarWalkers here. The shield captain and the Wraithlord. I did a bunch of damage to the shield captain, but he is not dead. Things are not going great for the home team. You can see that Hank has now taken a point lead into his turn 3. And this turn, things are going to go real bad for the home team here on this one. We're just going to kind of skip forward so we can talk about the outcome. Okay. So characters are moving up to try to charge into the Dire Avengers. These guys have taken this objective. These guys are OBSEC on this objective. I still have a couple Dire Avengers here, but that doesn't matter because these guys are just going to stay in combat with me and kill them because he didn't have multiple fallback strats. So I did stop these bikes from going deeper into me with these Dire Avengers, and I don't super regret that. It was still way too aggressive. I could have screened in front of my stuff just as easily with the Wave Serpents farther away. Some heavy bolter shooting that I don't appreciate goes into the Dire Avengers and kills a whole bunch of them. The shield captain charges in. These Dire Avengers down here die. This is all his turn, top of his 3. Oh, we're into my 3. We're into my 3 now. So these 3 bikes have taken out the D cannons very easily, I might add. So he took this objective, giving me only a 4 because I only have this objective. Oh, I have these 2. So I had an 8. This is the banner dude in with these Dire Avengers. Everybody else basically killed these Dire Avengers. There's still some WarWalkers here. We'll just kind of skip forward and you can see what happens on this turn. All right, cool. So I'm trying to, at this point, I need to clear them with Asurmen and the Wraithlord. And in shooting, they kill 1 of the bikes. So they're going to charge and hopefully kill the other 2 bikes and clear this objective. This is again wrong. Asurmen's an amazing beat stick. He should be sacrificing himself into the Custodes. He's also OBSEC. Like he should be pushing forward because he can only do 3 damage a phase, and he gives the Custodes an interesting problem to deal with. I could have sent these Dire Avengers back to go with the Wraithlord. There's a bunch of stuff I could have done, but I sent Asurmen and the Wraithlord back. I sent the Wave Serpent forward. My idea here is I'm going to get some shots on these captains that I want to kill. This is the captain character, by the way. He just left. Oh, I'm sorry. I killed the captain. These are the 2 bikes. The captain died to Dire Avenger shooting. So my plan here is get a little shooting and then charge the Wave Serpent into these bros to basically stop them from shooting me on my turn. I'm trying to minimize the damage, but you can see that at the end of my 3, I have some Dire Avengers, my Farseers right here standing in the open. I have a Wraithlord, I have Asurmen, and I have a Wave Serpent. My army is basically gone. It's not good. So we go into Hank's 4, and we just call it. I'll just skip to the end state. So Asurmen tries to come back. The Wraithlord's going to have to come back. He's got 1 bike left here. He's got 1 bike left here. These are 2 bikes. This is a bike. Shotgun bros over here I'm never going to get to. The Swooping Hawks came in over here and rotted and then, or didn't rod. They came over here and shot and then they redeployed over to here. No, I'm sorry. They rotted. Then they moved forward and shot and teleported over here, and then they were going to rot again. He moved his shotgun, his guys over here to easily take care of them. So at the end of, and then this didn't get me anything because they're OBSEC and I'm not. These guys all get picked up here. The Wraithlord's going to get picked up gets shot off the table by these this turn. And my army is sadly basically dead. So a couple things here. First of all, engage was not correct. Because I didn't want to throw things deep to get the points for engage. I also didn't remember that engage is only 3 models or more. I was thinking the way that the Asurmen and stuff like that would help. I took R&D and only got 4 points from it. That was just a mistake. That I didn't have better stuff for R&D. I think I needed to deep strike some Rangers so that they could help with R&D and also help with re-rolling the indirect fire hits. Would have been really cool. With the whatchamacallit, the stratagem. And so you can see here at the end of the game, I just don't have very much stuff, right? I've got nothing on this objective because Asurmen's over here trying to help here. The Wraithlord's just going to get killed. There's still plenty of bikes left. He still has plenty of dudes standing on objectives left. I'm out of the game, but I really do think that if on turn 1, I move my WarWalkers up here, and I shoot at them, and I move my WarWalkers here and I shoot at them, and I move the Rangers in to take the banners down, and I shoot all my indirect fire, even if I have to move the D-cannons up to here and risk the D-cannons getting shot so that they can shoot these bros. I think if I stay back farther and have WarWalkers and then Wave Serpents and then everything else, I think that I get an entire another turn of shooting at Hank before my army disappears. And I think that makes it a game. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump back to the camera and I will tell you kind of what I'm thinking about the list going forward. But R&D was wrong with the way the list was built. Engage, if Engage had been Stranglehold, I would have gotten it 3 times. So that'd be 9 points. Finn, I don't regret. However, the way that he played Assassinate would have been just as good because he YOLO'd his characters at me. All right, let's stop the sharing here and go back to our camera here. Hi, it's me again. You can see that I'm wearing an incredibly punny joke, by the way. Oh, yeah. Dad joke. This is like the best dad shirt in the history of dad shirts. Okay. So, what would I do differently? I think I took the wrong secondaries. I'm struggling. I stopped playing for a few months for mental health reasons and physical health reasons, actually. I was pretty sick in a number of ways. I'm back. I've played about, 6, 7, 8 games since I came back. I'm finding the new missions challenging. I know a lot of people are too. I'm having a hard time picking the right stratagems. This was a great lesson that I need to spend more time thinking about during list design, what stratagems I want to take. I think that that's super duper important. So I'm going to think a lot more about that, just a great deal more about that as I build lists. I have made an updated Shuriken list that I'll be playing today into Noah Badome's AdMech, hopefully, if we have time. We're playing Genestealer Cult into AdMech, and then I want to play Eldar and AdMech. So we're going to try to play quick so we can get 2 in. Would be really great. So I made a new list. The saddest thing in the history of things is that Asurmen doesn't actually make sense in the Dire Avenger list. I think it's significantly better to make one of the Dire Avenger units have OBSEC through the Autarch Exarch upgrade. I've been playing Eldar a long time. I invert those words all the time in my head. So I think that instead of Asurmen, you take Baharoth. You'll see in the next game that Baharoth is one of the best things in the entire book. His skills, his tool set's crazy. The next game, I'll just leave it at that, because in the next game you're going to see Baharoth on effing display. He has a, as the kids would say, he has a Chad. I have an Autarch Skyrunner. After playing the list, I needed much more mobility from my rerolls. And then I have a Farseer who has Doom and Guide, because I can put Guide on the Dire Avengers because they're core, and the reroll ones was just not good enough. He has reroll casts, and then he also has the Weeping Stones, which is the extra fate die, because the fate dice are great. Then I have a Warlock Skyrunner for 60 points that I threw the Sunstorm on. That's the bike that makes him go really super fast, which basically gives you a 60-point character with a really good cast of Protect Jinx, who can eventually just go 26 on that turn. He's OBSEC because of the bike. He can just go 26 and take their objective. And then he dies, and you're like, whatever. I took 2x5 Rangers with traps, 3 units of Dire Avengers, 1 with Stand Firm. I took the Wraithlord again, 3 Wave Serpents. And then what I did is I took the D Cannons out, because I don't like D Cannons. We'll talk about that more in the next game. And I put in 9 Wind Riders. Wind Riders, secret tech, hearing about it here from me. Wind Riders are a cheaper per guy way to get Shuriken Cannons. They have battle focus, which means you can use the stratagem to fire and fade them 6, or just use the fire and fade stratagem to get them out of harm's way. They're core, which means they can be guided with all those Shuriken Cannons, which the WarWalkers cannot. So I'm super stoked to try this. The 9 bikes with Shuriken Cannons is like, you can make it 27 shots. You can make it 27 shots, re-rolling everything to hit, and re-rolling to wound with Doom. That's 27 strength 6s with AP2 and 2 damage. Really good. So I'm going to try that. And then I took the D Cannons out, and I moved to 3 Shadowweavers, because I think you want at least 3 Shadowweavers in every list. It's really great to have the extra indirect fire with AP on it, and it can just kind of hang on your home objective. So that's where I think this list goes. I don't know that this is the best list. It is certainly fun. One thing that this list will have is it's going to be relatively easy to play compared to the other lists. What I'm seeing so far from Eldar, from Craftworlds in particular, is they're going to be pretty hard to list build and pretty high skill to play well, is what I'm seeing so far. I'm also this weekend going to start playing Harleys, because I think they actually might be the stuff in the book. But for now, that's my game. I appreciate all of you for watching. I know that it wasn't the video that we had last time, but as an advantage, we got through the game much faster, because it did not go well for me. I actually have not won a game of 40K up to this point, this game that we just covered, in several games, in kind of a rut, but I'll see if I can't rally for y'all and take a game down here in the next couple. All right, so if you liked what you saw, this is going to be a thing we do twice a week. And a bunch of them are going to be behind our subscription wall on the PayPal. The only reason for that is because it takes a great deal of effort and editing to make these, and I simply need to be able to pay the people doing that work. Building a business, so I have to be able to pay people. So I'm sorry, but what we're going to do is we're going to make some of these free each month, and then the rest of them behind that wall. But behind that wall is also going to be the second part of Fight Club every week. It's going to be the second part of Chasing the Narrative every week. And there's also going to be hobby content behind the wall from Chuck and Kim, who are going to be doing and eventually Sarah, who are all going to be making hobby videos for us in the future. So it's going to be great, but that's why we're doing so much of this. And I'm going to do a lot of this over the next few weeks, so we can kind of build up an inventory, and also so I can remember how to play 40K, because I'm pretty embarrassed by how badly, I know I was playing a brand new codex and there's a lot to learn, and I made rules mistakes, but I did not play that game well, and I want to play it better. If you'd like to support us in the meantime until that subscriber wall is up, you can join our Patreon, and you can come in and chat with all of us, talk to us about lists. The Eldar chat's going crazy. You can find us at patreon.com/bestintabletop. And the thing that I'd really love for you to do is to smash that subscribe button. It means the world to me. The more subscribers we have, the more benefit we get from YouTube. It's really a big deal. So thank you, everybody. Another episode of this will be back in just a couple days. and then I'm going to make more of this, and I'm just going to try to keep throwing it at you because you seem to really enjoy it, and I really enjoy you. But for now, I got learning to do because I did not do well. So with that, I'll leave you with this. First things first, I'm the realist. I'll talk to you all later. Bye now.